Have you ever felt it? The chilling, silent tick of an invisible clock. The one that whispers, "You're running out of time. You're falling behind. It's too late." It's the quiet despair that creeps in when you scroll through the highlight reels of others. The early successes, the swift promotions, the effortless breakthroughs. And you feel a suffocating weight. A fear that the world has already written your story, and you're merely a forgotten chapter, never truly begun. This isn't just about professional milestones. This is about the profound, aching sense that your true self, the person you were always meant to be, is locked behind an unbreakable door, guarded by the phantom of a missed deadline. Society, with its relentless timelines, has convinced us that life is a sprint. And if you haven't crossed a certain finish line by 20 or 30 or 40, then the race is over. But what if that clock, that deadline, that oppressive timeline is a lie? What if the very act of feeling behind is not a sign of failure, but a deeply coded signal, a hidden indicator that you are not running a sprint, but undergoing a far more profound, ancient process? What if your delay, your slow burn, is not a curse, but your secret superpower? This video is for the late bloomers, the quiet observers, the ones who felt the pressure to perform, but chose to delve deeper instead. For anyone who has ever stared at their unwritten destiny and wondered, is there still time for me? The answer is a resounding, unapologetic yes. In fact, your unconventional timing is not a weakness, it's an alchemical advantage. We're going to spend the next few minutes dismantling the myth of the early peak, exploring the profound psychological and philosophical forces that make the slow, deliberate journey not just viable, but superior. We'll reveal why the world's rejection of your pace is actually its unwitting gift, forcing you to forge something rare and indestructible. We will journey through the wisdom of those who understood the true nature of transformation, from ancient alchemists to modern psychologists, to uncover why your late bloom is not just winning, but winning better, deeper, and with a lasting legacy. This is not a pep talk. This is a blueprint for your quiet revolution. The world might be obsessed with instant gratification, with the flashy spectacle of overnight success. But you, the alchemist, understand that true gold, true power, is forged in the silent crucible of time. And the first step is to redefine what it truly means to win. Let's confront the lie directly. Where did this relentless, arbitrary deadline come from? This notion that by 25, you should be established, by 30, a rising star, by 40, a titan. This isn't a universal truth. It's a social construct, a residue of industrial age programming. In an age of physical labor, early peak performance made sense. Strong backs, swift hands, but we live in the age of information, of nuance, of complex problem solving. Here, raw speed is often the enemy of depth. Yet we blindly apply the old metrics to our intricate psychological journeys. This incessant external pressure creates a suffocating internal dialogue. You internalize the shoulds. I should have figured it out by now. I should be further along. I should be happier. This is a form of self-sabotage, not born of personal failing, but of cultural conditioning. It's a negative auto-suggestion played on repeat. This internal narrative creates an invisible prison, locking away your true potential. Psychology calls this learned helplessness. You become convinced that because you didn't win the early sprint, you're not meant to win at all. This is where the alchemist's wisdom truly begins to shine, recognizing the false lead from the latent gold. The truth is, early success, while celebrated, often comes with hidden costs. It's often built on a fragile foundation of external validation, of performance, rather than purpose. Think of the child prodigy who burns out, or the overnight sensation who struggles with sustained relevance. Their early ascent often bypasses crucial stages of internal forging. The individual who blooms later, on the other hand, is forced to confront their internal landscape first. They are denied the easy applause, the external validation. This deprivation is precisely what forces them to dig deeper, to build an inner framework that is resilient, authentic, and utterly unshakable. It's the difference between a quickly built sandcastle and a meticulously crafted stone fortress. They are forced into a period of unavoidable self-reckoning, and it is in this crucible of self-discovery that the real power is forged. This is where the alchemist's work truly begins, transforming the base metal of self-doubt into the radiant gold of true self-possession. This process, this necessary delay, is not a punishment. It's a preparation. It's the universe ensuring you don't squander your true gifts on fleeting applause, but build something meant to last, something timeless. The true late bloomer isn't someone who simply starts later. They are someone who uses the perceived delay for deep internal alchemy. While others are chasing external metrics, you are in the forge, hammering out something far more valuable, your authentic self. This journey often aligns with what Carl Jung called individuation, the process of becoming a unified, integrated individual, separate from the collective psychology. It's about shedding the masks, the personas, the expectations others have placed upon you, and discovering the unique totality of who you truly are. This isn't a comfortable process. It involves confronting shadows, acknowledging flaws, and dissecting decades of ingrained beliefs. This is why many avoid it, preferring the comfortable illusion of external success. But for the alchemist, this painful introspection is the very catalyst for transformation. In this forge, you develop superpowers that early achievers often lack. Radical self-awareness. You've had more time to observe your own patterns, strengths, and weaknesses without the distorting lens of constant external validation. You know your own mind. Unshakable resilience. You face setbacks, failures, and the sting of being overlooked. Each one has toughened your spirit, making you capable of weathering storms that would break others. True humility. Having been denied early applause, you learn that worth is not found in public adoration, but in the quiet satisfaction of deep, meaningful work. This internal work manifests as a profound shift in perspective. You begin to understand that time is not linear. It is cumulative. Every struggle, every pause, every moment of doubt is simply raw material being collected, refined, and integrated into a powerful, coherent whole. Nothing is wasted. This is the alchemist's oath. I will not measure my progress by the speed of others, but by the depth of my own transformation. I will not seek external applause, but internal alignment. And I will trust that the gold I am forging is far more precious than anything created in haste. This internal shift changes everything. It changes how you perceive your past. It changes how you engage with your present. And most powerfully, it changes how you approach your future. Because you are not merely building a career, you are building a legacy of self-possession. The alchemist knows that the right environment is crucial for transformation. Just as a metal needs specific heat and air to be forged, your mind needs a specific environment to bloom. This is the environment law. You are the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with, and your growth is largely determined by the inputs you allow. For the late bloomer, this law is particularly ruthless. Your friends, who constantly question your ambitions, your family, who reminds you of your past failures, the social media feed that screams early success. These are not just annoyances. They are toxic pollutants in your alchemical crucible. They speak in limitation, fear, and resignation, and that frequency will derail your frequency. The courage of the late bloomer is the courage to purify their environment. This means making difficult choices. It means distancing yourself, even temporarily, from those who mock your ambition or feed your self-doubt. It means curating your information diet with surgical precision. This isn't about arrogance, it's about self-preservation. You are building something rare and precious. You cannot afford to expose it to the cynical winds of a world obsessed with superficiality. You need silence. You need encouragement. You need validation, not for your speed, but for your depth. Actively seek out your tribe, the other alchemists, the quiet observers, the fellow architects of deep purpose. They might be scarce, but they exist. They are in the obscure forums, the thoughtful comment sections, the quiet corners where ideas, not egos, are exchanged. This deliberate cultivation of your external world, mirroring the internal work you've already done, creates an unstoppable synergy. Your environment begins to reflect your internal commitment, amplifying your ability to focus, create, and eventually to flourish. Remember, willpower alone is a finite resource, but a meticulously crafted environment becomes an infinite wellspring of support. Your environment dictates your trajectory. Choose it wisely, for it is the crucible that will either sustain your fire or extinguish it. This is perhaps the most painful yet liberating step in the alchemical process, the death of the mirage. The mirage is the ghost of the person you thought you should be, the version of yourself that won the early sprint, the image designed for societal applause. We all carry this ghost. It's the version of you that went to the right schools, got the perfect job by 25, married by 30, and had the flawless life by 35. This mirage is not real. It is a fabricated ideal, and as long as you cling to it, it will haunt your present and sabotage your future. To truly bloom, you must mourn and release this phantom self. This involves profound emotional work, acknowledging the dreams that died, the paths not taken, the expectations unmet. It is okay to grieve for a future that never materialized, especially if that future was never truly yours to begin with. This death of the mirage is akin to Jung's death of the persona. The persona is the social mask we wear to conform, to gain acceptance. For the late bloomer, this mask often feels heavy and ill-fitting. The delay has given you the gift of time to strip it away, to see its artificiality. The void left by the dying mirage can feel terrifying. It's an identity limbo. You are no longer the person society expected, but you are not yet the fully bloomed alchemist. This is the period of invisibility, where the world largely forgets you. But this invisibility is not a punishment. It is a chrysalis. It is the sacred, undisturbed space where the most profound transformations occur. Trust this void. Embrace the uncertainty. For it is here, away from the prying eyes of judgment, that your true, indestructible self is silently and meticulously being woven. You will return. The alchemist always returns, but you will not return as the person who felt behind. You will return as someone transformed, unrecognizable to those who judged your pace. You will return not seeking applause, but radiating purpose, depth, and an unshakable inner peace. Your delayed bloom is your ultimate advantage because it means your foundations are deeper, your roots are stronger, your understanding of yourself and the world is richer. You built for legacy, not for speed, and legacy always wins in the end. The world might have initially rejected your slow burn, but it cannot deny the brilliance of the gold you have forged in the crucible of time. They will see the wisdom in your eyes, the resilience in your spirit, and the quiet power that comes from a life lived on your own authentic terms. You have transformed your base metal into something invaluable. Your experience of waiting, of struggle, of solitude, this is now your unique wisdom. It gives your work meaning. It gives your voice authority. It gives your life a resonance that simply cannot be acquired by those who chased the easy, early win. So, embrace your alchemist's delay. Trust the process. Relish the silence of the crucible. For the world's impatient clock is merely a distraction from your own magnificent, unfolding destiny. Your slow burn is not a flaw, it is the deliberate, potent fire that will refine you into your most powerful, most authentic self. This is your superpower. This is your quiet revolution. And this is why, in the end, the late bloomer, the alchemist, doesn't just win, they win forever. If this message resonated with the alchemist within you, if you felt the validation of your journey, please let us know in the comments below. What is your secret superpower forged in delay? Don't forget to like this video, subscribe to The Inner Stoa for more deep dives into the psychology of transformation and the philosophy of power, and share this with anyone who needs to hear that their time is now.